Let's see. Let's just make sure that we are in fact live. It says we are. It says we are live. So let's see. So far, we gonna get see if we can't get some people on, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. How's it going on your end? I guess
Good. So
while I'm doing that, I'd really love to know just what's going on because people are going to be watching this. It'll still get recorded anyway. So what's going on there? All was right before we went on. It just started to get everything went crazy. What happened?
yeah. So um, looking at, I think what's happening is, is that the market is shaking off the rates. I mean, we're at a 456, 457 on the 10-year. And I'll tell you, as much as you want to get negative about the market, there are 5 or 6 stocks that are holding the whole thing up. And unfortunately for me, I look at that and I say, it kind of feels like Jenga.
Yeah.
Where everything underneath has been pulled out, like all the mid cap and smaller companies are having a real hard time and struggling. But these, 7 or 8, Jenga blocks on top are hanging in there and keeping the indexes up. And the fact of the matter is those stocks are not going to let us down from a standpoint. They're just not going to crater. They've got too much good earnings. They've got earnings growth. They've got too many levers they can pull to cut costs and keep their earnings up. So, you're just not going to see stocks, like these just crater. Now, you might have something like an NVIDIA that's gotten so overblown and become such a fanboy favorite that, it pulls back 100, 200 points, whatever it pulls back. But I mean, you've got, the Apples and the AMDs and the Metas of the world and stuff that are holding everything up. Now, So what I wanted to get to is, I don't know if I can share my screen.
Absolutely, you can. Yeah, and
But where do I do that?
we do have that stream up and running too. I am just going to send you that. I am going to send you that link as well, just in case you do at some point. This gets real interesting and want to.
How do I share my screen?
Yeah, brother. So that invite.
Oh, here it is. I got the ultimate down there. Okay, here
Yep.
it is. All right.
Sweet.
Let me see. I want to do which window do I want? That's the one. Let's see. I got to find the window I want, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Which one do I want to share? I want to share I guess this one.
Man, I've got up there while you're getting ready to show that, I've got right there that massive rip up that we just had in the Nasdaq. I'm going to take that down when you're ready to share. I'm going to take this link down. In fact, I'll do that right now. Definitely appreciate everyone showing up. I got a little worried today with that the data that came out. There it goes. Look at that. That is awesome looking.
I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah, that's I think it looks pretty amazing. So what you're doing is you're
Wait, are you seeing the chart?
No, I'm seeing the camera with all the lines inside, so you're sharing your actual restream screen.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, no, it's pretty. It looks really cool though.
Hold on a second.
Infinite Dutch camera, yeah, purple. We had to up our game from having 3 and 4 Godfather and Dutches to infinite Dutches.
Hold on a second here.
No, that's all right. So while you're doing that, I do want to know, while you guys are out there, please go ahead and give this. We want this to be interactive. That's the whole reason. Nice little lunch break while he's getting that ready. If you got any stocks that y'all are looking at, you see something out there, just
all right. Now do you see it?
Yeah, just interested in what's going on. Go ahead
and the chart.
Put that in the. Yes, sir, I do. Go ahead and put that in there. Just go ahead and put it in the comment box. I'm going to put the comments on here, Dutch, so you can see them as we're talking. And
all right,
you're up and running, brother.
All right. So look, this is Alpine. This is a pharmaceutical company one of the biotech companies actually that we It was one of our favorites. In fact, Trader Z loved it too. And out of all the biotechs that we were buying in January and February, this was one of his favorites. So what we did is we put together a biotech heaters list, and this was on that list. It was only 20 stocks that we thought might be acquired or whatever, or explode to the upside for one reason or another. Well, we got it today with Alpine. The stock was trading at 40, whatever, and it's at 65. Got bought today by Vertex, not VRT, but Vertex Pharmaceuticals. So we were out of the stock, but look, you can see where we had this. What I do is I like to show these charts because it shows you where we bought it and triggered it. Okay, and we did like 3 trades with this, one at 28 and a 34 target.
Yeah,
and by 514, then 35 we hit it again and had a 44 target, and it hit that, and then the green box is your profit zone, and then and you can see it was kind of running in this nice sort of upwards channel. And then today, the purchase by Vertex Pharma takes it up to where the circle is up there, and that's our buy today. So out of those 20, we've had actually 2 that have exploded. One was Viking Therapeutics, VKTX, and that boomed because they have a weight loss drug, one of those GLP drugs, that looks like it might be coming down the pipe in a while, but it's in pill form.
So that's not a bias just for being the Viking, is it?
No.
I know if they had a Godfather stock, I'd be in that stock. I gotta be honest.
That's right. So just wanted to bring that to your attention. And then I'm just going to keep sharing here because I've got another one to talk about here.
Yeah.
All right. So IESC was one of the leaders in sort of the space that here we go. All right, so we hit at 134. Our stock actually dropped down here to like 124. We're about 125 right now. I wanted to bring this up because you can see the channel it's in, and you can see that it does this. Okay,
yeah,
it'll run up and then it'll back off, and then it'll run up, back off, run up, back off hard, ran up, backed off hard again. I think we might be at a reversal here.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is that this isn't a bad entry if you believe that the market's going to be fine. What I don't like is the MACD's rolled over here, but that can certainly turn fairly quickly. So it's not a sure bet here at all, but it looks like a reversal, and this is kind of what reversals look like, especially when they're doing a typical pattern here. So that's IESC, and that's in the industrial kind of infrastructure and building space. The other ones, a while back, we talked about 2 stocks that are Argentinian, GGAL and BBAR. And GGAL, let's see if I can find that. GG,
that's a good game.
All right. So you can see we called the buy down here at 1584. And what I like about stockcharts.com is that you can make annotations and notes on stocks that you're watching, and it archives it for you. So I can go back to every stock that we've ever traded, that we've ever triggered, and I can see what the stock did. And I can see what my notes were. I can see what led me to buy it. And I can see what it did since that time. So
a lot of people don't know this. You're the one that makes these charts. I mean, like all these circles and overlapping. That's you and Z. That's y'all. You guys do that. That's not.
That's right.
Yeah, that's something that we get as part of the service of Carnivore. When we see these charts that have these circles and those purple lines, that's y'all's information you're adding to these charts.
That's right. So we annotate the charts, And every day they're in the wrap, the live ones that are live in the model portfolio. So all the charts are there with our notes and our thinking. A lot of times we don't have time to put all of our thinking in it, which is why we have the conference calls and why we do Dutch Masters Live and things like that every week. So
yeah, we got a few likes on that one. There's a few people that smash the like button, or I know that Donk is watching that pressed the like button lightly, and but for the rest of them, they smashed the shit out of it. And,
yep.
But
yeah.
anyway,
So we nailed this at 1584. We're up at 29. So that was a good move there. It didn't look great. And then it just ramped. And of course, we drew this, and we didn't know it was going to run right up this thing here. We drew this one back here when we triggered it. Yeah, we thought this might, do one of these numbers.
Yeah.
And it actually ran right up the line. So you could have got out here, here, and now we're up here. So anyway, there's good follow through on this. Let's go to B-bar, another one that's in the space. Obviously, the trade developed as a result of what was happening in Argentina, which is the cleanup, financial cleanup and radical change that's going on there politically, which we are supportive of. So we got 688 a share, triggered it here, was running in a channel, and we said, okay, it might be at the high end of the channel. Now, when you're buying into this, right?
Yeah.
You're looking at this and you're going, oh man, I'm buying it on a spike and I'm buying it at the top of the channel.
That's what it looks like.
I must be crazy.
That's what I think.
But are you crazy? And this is the thing that Trader Z likes to tell people is stocks that are running like this go higher. He says buy high and sell higher.
Yeah.
And so that's what you get when you get these things. So we said target 9 to 11. We obviously hit that target just ahead of our box. And you can see, what really triggered this thing was, we had way down here, we said, look, if this thing is turning right here, the MACD and the accumulation is just beginning, it's got a long way to go. And it sure did. So 6 to 9 is 50% return. That worked out pretty well. So that's GGAL and B-bar. Not recommending anything, of course, and also not saying that we're diving into it or anything like that. So let's talk about the market.
Yeah, what we had PPI today. We had some real interesting things. A lot of people want to know, what are your thoughts on this? Obviously, rate cuts. What are you thinking?
So we started the year January 1 with the expectation in the market, the market's expectation that we would get 6 to 7 rate decreases. We thought that was totally insane. And what our thinking was, because we're a little bit, we look at politics and policy, and we also look at the economics. Our thinking was that there's no way that inflation, even with the rate increases that they're doing, is going to change everything. And when you've got a government that is spending out of control and just giving money away and throwing money at everything. And so you've got an inflationary government policy in the administration. Mm-hmm. And then you've got a Fed over here that essentially works for us, sort of, for the government, or at least has to try to work hand in hand to try to deal with inflation and, labor and issues like that in their mandate.
Yeah.
So you've got a Fed that's raising rates to combat inflation, but you've got an administration that's working 180 degrees the opposite, spending money like drunken sailors and that's causing the inflation. So our thinking in January was, no way with that kind of a dynamic going on, is there that push-pull, is there going to be a 6 or 7 rate decrease? So we thought maybe 3. Okay, we thought maybe 3. This is early in January.
Right.
And okay, so then the market goes, let's see, I'm going to check my notes here. So then the market kind of says at the end of February, well, maybe it's not 6 or 7, maybe it's only 3 to 5. And the market starts to waffle. And then a week ago, they're like, well, maybe it's 2, right? And the market's been waffling, trying to deal with that. The rates aren't really cooperating in the 10-year. They dipped down below 4 for like a nanosecond, and then they came right back up. And now you've got Fed guys coming out and saying, oh, yeah, I still see at least one rate decrease this year. And yet you have people like us that are saying, with these kinds of data, I don't think the Fed's very excited about the idea of having to lower rates in the face of this, because they will ignite even more inflation with that. And they don't want to be blamed for that. And so they may not move at all. And then you have the narrative that's going on out there that nobody really wants to talk about. And that is, what if they have to raise them again?
Well, yeah. Well, that's a very legitimate question,
isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's important. Z even said it in our VIP group for the ones that have been out to the academy. It is almost the only way to get out of the financial debt problem that we have in this country. But small businesses like me, I can't borrow money right now, and we need working capital. But on the same hand, you can't have inflation the way so it's which one. There's a case to be made for each one, Dutch. Yeah, and that's I think where the big issue comes in.
Well, what I'm worried about is that if these rates spike, and they spike today to over 4.5, I mean, they blew right through 450, okay?
Yeah.
And that bothered me. But what really bothers me is if it just runs right to 5, which a lot of guys think it can. And why can't it? It can. It could go to 550. And the reality is, what is that going to do to the housing and home building and I mean, that's a huge engine in our economy, my friend.
That's right.
So we were kind of getting excited about the idea that maybe that engine would start running again. And now those hopes have kind of been dashed, at least in the short term. So I don't know what to say about that, except that, the market seems to have this bid under it, but not the whole thing, just some smaller positions. I mean, our two of our largest positions were really just Amazon and Qualcomm, and we had a whole ton of cash coming into this morning. And then we decided to lose our minds and go back.
Are you gonna talk about it? I didn't know if you were gonna talk about it.
Oh, I'm going to talk about it because
we're going to talk about it.
I'm going to actually share the screen again here. Hold on a second.
Okay.
DXYZ, our friends at Destiny Tech. Hold on a second. Let me get rid of these drawings.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, all the explicitives and the explicitive drawings that you put on there.
All right, so I'm just going to show you guys a basic. All right, so here's the.
The 5-day chart doesn't look bad. I got to be honest. Just 5-day chart. If you zoom out.
I did.
Okay.
All right, so hold on. Let me share this.
Not the 1 week chart. Just 5. just
5. Let's see if I can find it.
Oh, intraday. Oh, we're going up. Look at this. It's turning up, Dutch.
So there's your 5-day.
Yeah. That's consolidation, hopefully.
Now, I want to show you the 1 day.
Yeah, look at that. See that right there? Look at that.
And this.
Yep.
All right, so what happened is we opened up today up here, okay? Mm-hmm. And it came down. We started accumulating down here. Okay. Right down in there. rode it up. We got up to about 55 and change. We've peeled back, and we've made a nice little cup here forming. Now, if this stays righteous for us, we may have ourselves a nice little move this way.
So the RSI, what do you think of the RSI on it?
Well, on a short-term basis, it's really hard to make calls on this stuff with these indicators. So, on a short-term basis, we're looking at, I don't even really look at anything other than sort of the volume that's coming in or out of it.
Okay.
And I want to see that, it doesn't violate a pattern here. So if I take this out and I extend this up, I see that we could get to around 54, 55. I actually did a lot of work on this morning here. I think we're a $57, $58 today type of a number. However, and that would put us up right about there.
Yeah. That's one of the things I was thinking of when I was sending you the messages reminding you about this. I was thinking, I know he is working this stock, and this has probably been all you've been thinking about for the last 48, 72 hours, probably been dominating what you've been working on because.
Well, yeah, this is something that, unfortunately, when you're into a really hot short-term trading situation, you get so myopic and focused that you take your eye off the ball, maybe in other areas that, you just don't have all the bandwidth because you're really focused on this. Sometimes you have to stand up, walk away. You got to mix in your layered Hamilton mushrooms into your coffee and some brown sugar.
Right.
And then you got to, oh, by the way, that brings up something here. We have to talk about our sponsor, Thunderbird.
Thunderbird. Hold on, let me go back on. I'll go where. Let's see if we can get you on. There we go.
Okay, this is the Texas Maple Pecan Bar.
Is it pecan or pecan?
Well, I say pecan, but that's because I'm from Michigan. My parents.
So pecan is what a trucker uses.
Well, a pecan would also be like I think Jason. Donk would say pecan because he's Southern, right?
Yeah, he's Southern, all right.
Right. So anyway, I want you to know this is made in the USA, right, in Texas. Now, they have all kinds of different flavors of this, but it's plant-based, very good. Do you ever wake up in the middle of the night and you're hungry, but you don't remember that you did it until the morning? And in the morning, you wake up and you go over to your bar and you go, wait a minute, how come there's all these wrappers laying around here? Oh, I must have got up in the middle of the night, sleepwalked my butt over to the Texas pecan bars, and I must have ate like 2 or 3 of these,
That actually is pretty good. I like that.
Come on, that
actually is good. We should actually clip this out and send it to him because you had me with that when I was making sure my son's homesick today. I was making sure that he was going to a different room just now. You had me on that one.
So that's kind of what happens, Anyway, they're a wonderful sponsor. They're not really sponsoring us. We don't have any sponsors at all, but I like to pretend that we do.
Yeah, I think it's great. If you will
don't forget,
they'll become.
Don't forget. We're just practicing for when we really have sponsors like King Baby.
Is that the store that you took Donk and I to? Is that is that the jewelry store guy?
Yeah, that's the silversmith who makes Indian motorcycle jewelry, and he's got an Indian motorcycle in the store.
That's right.
And he's Nashville, Tennessee. He's Santa Monica, California, and he's here in Las Vegas. He's got a motorcycle that was done custom for him, a King Baby motorcycle, which is really cool. By the way, I picked up my chopper yesterday.
Oh, that's great.
One of them. I picked up the black one. She's now ready to rock and roll, and we're going to actually have her custom painted, and she's going to become the she's going to become the Viking chopper. So we're going to have like Viking symbols on there and lightning and thunder. And then I'm going to put a blue LED light package underneath it. It's going to be crazy.
I'll go ahead and I'll get, we'll go ahead and look for another carpet for it. I do want to ask you though, let's sprinkle in some, Mark, he actually has a pretty interesting question. I want to see what you think of this. So he asks, how do you guys use the RSI 14 day? Is that something, that you play around with?
I like to use the RSI to kind of just on a very short-term basis, see whether or not I'm, the thing is running my way. It changes so fast that sometimes it gives you lots of head fakes. I can't use it as an indicator for a buy. MACD is a better crossover indicator on the buy side. And what I would like to do is have some RSI sort of confirm that.
Okay, good. Now, just so you know, Mark, I'm assuming that you hit the like button and I just didn't put your question up and you didn't like the video. So I'm assuming you liked the video.
And by the way, I mean, there goes Destiny.
Oh yeah, no, I looked at it when you pulled it up. That's what I was doing on my phone. I was like, yeah, I like that one. I'm in. So
I'm telling you, this has been the easiest short-term day trading type stock that I've ever had to trade. I mean, for like maybe, I don't know. I can't tell you how long. I mean, certainly for the last year and a half, this is the easiest trading. I mean, this was just a no-brainer. Yeah. For some reason, it's super easy for me because it seems like it's got a, they're fighting to keep it at $50 when it comes down.
Mm-hmm.
And then, once it's there, it moves up. Now that can change from day to day. Tomorrow they might open it at 40, and that's where you're playing. Maybe it falls from 40 to 35, and then you're playing it from 35 to 45. But what's important is they've got the god darn volatility to give you 8 or 10 or 12 or 15 points in a day, and we're long about 5,075 shares right now. I got an average cost of 57.23, so I got a ways to go. But I'm just here to tell you that we've had 2 great days, explosive monster days.
Amazing.
Some guys have had trouble with it because they are not, they're buying it at 61 when it opens, and they just don't do anything. They just sit on that 61 and start crying, okay, right, when it goes to 50 or 51. And if you're doing really hardcore short-term trading, which is what this is, I mean, when you do 20 freaking trades on a stock in a day, then that's hardcore, okay? You're moving.
No, absolutely.
Absolutely. But so my point is, you bought it at 61. It crashes and burns. Maybe you think that a thing is bottomed out at 54, 55, which I did today. So I started buying it in there. And then it comes down further and it's 51, 51.50. All right. Now I'm sitting there watching it down there at 51 to 52. And I go, okay, I got to make a bet now.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to bet. And this is definitely a bet. It's no sure thing on a stock like this because there's no real support levels on it.
That's right.
So now I'm going to make a bet, and I'm going to hit this thing for 4,000 shares at 51.50, 52, 52.50 as it's running back up. And then I'm going to sit there and go, okay, geez, Lord have mercy. I'm at, I got 12,000 shares of this thing. And I love you too. You're awesome. So now you're down there and you're building a position and a big position down there. Now it runs up to 53, 54. Maybe you can take some of that stuff off that you bought at 51 or 51.50 or 52. You've got 4,000 or 5,000 shares down there. You just clipped, $10,000, $20,000 in gains there. Bang, hit that one. And then what you're left with is what I'm left with right now, which is the 5,000 shares at 57.23 at that cost basis. Now the game is, now what do I do? I'm pretty much flat on the day overall. I don't want to be taking a big loss. I could zero the whole thing out, or I can just take a little bit longer term view and say, you know what? Stock wants to go. I mean, look at that chart, okay?
Yes.
Stock wants to go. So, and here's why this is different than, some other, stock. This thing has a lot of very interesting characteristics to it that most stocks don't. I don't care if it's a new biotech stock or whether it's a new technology software stock or whatever. None of those stocks have sort of the cachet that this one has. And I'm not saying that fundamentally this thing is undervalued, overvalued. I'm not saying that it's going from 50 to 250. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is right now, right here is just in today's moment in time, this thing has got so much mojo and interest and volume that it's tradable, and it's got the volatility, and it makes it tradable. And like the donk says, look, you don't have to, most people should step aside from something like this.
Right. But you don't have that going in.
If you don't have the stomach for this, I put it in the pre-market basically. So before anybody started doing anything this morning and they read that, they should have known, look, this is, this ain't for widows and orphans. This isn't for people who don't really know what they're doing. And this isn't for people who don't have the ability to, build a position. The worst mistake you can make is like load all of your stuff in at the beginning and go, oh, that's all the money I have.
Right.
Instead of buying 15,000 shares out of the chute, what are we doing? We're buying 100.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I bought 100 at 61 3/4 or something in the morning. Yeah. And then you buy another 100, and then you buy another 100, and you're just kind of like, you're kind of playing with it. You're kind of dancing with this girl to see where she wants to go. Right. And then when she gets down to 54, 55, she looks like she's trying to find a little bit of a bottom. And so now you might buy 300 or 500.
That's right.
Now you're buying 500 at 54 or 55. Then it grows to 53 and you go, darn it. So you put another, now you buy 100 at 53. Then she goes to 52.50 and buy another 100. Then she finds a bottom around that 52.50 range. Now you do 500, 500, 500. These are the nuances of position trading like this, building a position and doing a short-term trade, so that by the end of the day, if the stock has done kind of what you think it might do, which could be finish at 57 or 58 or 62 or 64 or whatever, then you've got a nice profit in your hands. Yesterday, we had a CFL send me an email who said he loaded up on the thing when we triggered it, but he didn't get any until it came out at, he paid 54, 55. We triggered at 53, so I think he was in at 53, 55 to 56. So then it went to 51, and he thought, shoot, I've been bagged here. But he said, you know what? I'm just going to let this thing do what it needs to do today. Mm-hmm. It's got the volatility. He ends up taking the thing off at like 58 and change, made 15 grand yesterday.
Wow. Oh, okay. Yes. He had a lot of it.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons when the market, so correct me if I'm wrong, a stock that has this little float, the market makers are just going to run him. They're going to run him up, right? As they're buying shares and they get an average, right? Like they don't fill. How would they do that with something that's this low of a float? It's a new stock, right? It's a new stock. What happens if that kind of volume comes in at one shot? Just
You
seeing
mean on a buy?
Yeah.
Well, they got to raise the bid to collect it.
Mm-hmm.
They got to collect the stock for the guy. Or a lot of times, and this is kind of counterintuitive, sometimes in order to get enough stock to fill that guy's order, they lower the bid to spook people out so they can gather up the stock to give it to him at a higher price.
Yeah. And that that's real interesting. So
that's counterintuitive.
yeah, no, it's real interesting. And I think one time we need to actually do something. You and Z and Donk need to we need to just do like a live stream and just explain market makers and all these, because like there's a lot of people. I'm even around your world all day long, and I picture these little doozers or minions. Like, who are these people? What are they doing? Where, like, who are they just sitting there going, "Ooh, the market"? You know what I mean? I know what they do, but
well, I want to answer a question here about why this thing is so exciting and vital and volatile. The float is the volatility,
That's
the
right.
newness of it. But yes, you're right. Purple Music, the current portfolio of private companies that this company has an interest in is SpaceX. Mm-hmm. Things like OpenAI, Sam Altman's company, Stripe, Instacart, Discord, Plaid, which is a software company, Bolt Financial, Public, which is it's a trading platform, actually, a no commission trading platform, which is pretty cool, by the way. And they have other ones called Epic Games and Boom Supersonic and Axiom Space. I mean, so these are all companies that have been vetted by institutional grade venture capitalists. They've invested their money in it. This company is taking some of that maybe off the table for some of them and getting a hold of all this stuff that they can in the private space. So for it's genius, really, because if you think about it, it's the only way that we can invest in SpaceX. It's the only way that we can invest in companies like Stripe or companies like Discord, because or these other private companies. Now with SpaceX and these other ones go public, that's where you get your 5 or 10x pop, ideally, hypothetically. But these are off limits. If you're not a billionaire, you don't even get invited to the table.
Right.
I mean, they invite Godfather because his wife is so gorgeous.
Well, that was, everyone knows I'm probably one of the few traders in Carnivore. I'm a Robinhood fan. I never hide it, but I'll tell you that I've gotten amazing IPO shares, because that's one of the things they did is they buy them and they allowed the normal person, if you're willing to buy at least 100, 200 shares of something blind, they'll let you in. And so it does allow somebody like me the ability to do that. This makes it so everyone can, but I guess the question is, there's certain rules when a company goes public on how long you can sell. Why would that not? But we could sell this whenever we want, right? These shares. But if SpaceX goes public, do these guys just get out and it's just the new IP? When?
No, they're locked up. A lot of times they're locked up for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then there's restrictions on how much stock they can sell.
But you wouldn't be as part of this fund, is what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is, this is like a fund that invests in these private companies, but it's liquid, so you can buy and sell it on a daily basis. Super exciting. Okay, I think it's a genius move. I think that it has the potential, if it hasn't already, because I don't watch what's going on over in Reddit land, but I mean, it could be like a memester that goes to 250.
It hasn't, and that's what makes it so interesting. That's why this one's trading. It's like going to a casino and you're getting a volatile table, but everyone's willing to play by the rules, right? That's the problem with Reddit land. You get people that are in there just willing to go and then bag everybody, and they're all out for themselves. This one just seems to be trading the most righteous out of all volatile stocks I've ever played around
So
with.
I want to ask you a question. The other thing that came into play here is I haven't checked to even see whether the stock has options because I don't play with options.
Not yet. Not yet.
Well, that's why the stock is running the way it does, is because if you can't get exposure with options, you got to buy the stock.
Interesting. Okay.
Now
So
that's going to last. That's
true.
going to last 2 to 4 weeks while they do the application with the exchanges to get options tradability on that. And what you'll find is once options are available on this stock, instead of it swinging 8 points a day, it's going to swing 4 points a day.
You're right, because that is what happens.
The vol will come down.
Yeah. That's interesting to see. Yeah, it's a real interesting stock. One thing, Purple is actually a kind of funny person. I like that. He said back over there, shout out to Trader Z, but he also did say rest in peace A through Y that came before them. So I thought that was kind of funny,
Well, I got to tell you that I got to do a shout out to my man Johnny. Yeah.
I just thought that was funny, that comment there. It was just like,
let's see,
A through Y
Trader Z is awesome. A moment of silence though for Trader A through Y.
Yeah, A through Y.
Yeah, we had to tell Godfather to take those guys out to the desert.
He did.
I'm going to tell you an interesting story. Now, anybody who's worked in the restaurant industry or the bar industry has heard this term 86.
Trader J was horrible. Dumb.
So if you've heard the term 86, you've been 86th from this place. What does that mean? It means you got thrown out, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Right?
That's right.
All right. Come on, Godfather. You've been 86 from places before.
I was saying that's right. Yeah. That's right.
All right, but do you know where that comes from? That comes from Las Vegas. So way back in the day with the mobsters, they would say 86 that guy. And what that meant, you take him 8 miles south and put him 6 feet under.
Well, look at that. I didn't even know that,
So 8 miles south of here towards California is where they buried a lot of bodies up there. And so they say 86, that guy means take him 8 miles south, put him 6 feet under, done.
There was a guy when we were at the casino that was trying to give 50s on the table. And
don't do that.
Yeah, there was a guy that put 50s down at the craps table, and everyone like, woo, everyone went away. And the guy's like, what happened? And I said,
well, I'll tell you, there's some nuances to that craps table, as you know.
Yeah, I do know. Go ahead.
When a guy's rolling, you don't just run in there and throw your money on the table in the middle of his roll.
That's right.
Because that's rude.
Absolutely.
You're messing with his mojo. And then it goes way back. Don't ever throw 50s out there.
Right. And that's who is it? Was it Bugsy Siegel? Who was it that got that was off with a bunch of 50s in the pocket? And that's what isn't that how they pay people, the mob? That's what they use to pay to get rid of somebody, is they use $50 bills or whatnot.
Yep.
So
yeah. It's kind of like when you're at an Italian wedding and you like somebody brings a raw fish in and wrapped in newspaper.
Okay, that's a little bit more. That's a little bit more upfront.
That's great. Yeah, it's not very well accepted.
Let's see. There was actually a couple. Thanks, Dutch. That was great. Is there still any opportunity shorting fast food stocks? McDonald's. I couldn't imagine ever shorting McDonald's. That thing just. That's one of my. My father-in-law, when he told me he was in that stock, and I didn't realize, like, who would still be in McDonald's? This was maybe 6-7 years ago. I didn't realize this is actually a really good stock for a long-term holder, right? Because it's got a dividend. It's actually a decent stock. I wouldn't imagine shorting it. Would you? I mean, it's just not worth it. That's too big.
I'll tell you that, there's better. Let's put it this way. There are better restaurant-oriented stocks to short than that one. on the
Yeah.
short side. So let's talk about the weight loss drugs a little minute here.
Yeah.
So we've got really two big players out there, and you've got NVO, which is Novo Nordisk. NVO owns semaglutide, and you've probably seen the ads on billboards and on the radio. Come get your semaglutide for $215 or $250 a month. That's the NVO molecule. That's their product. They call it Wegovy. They call it whatever. What's the other one? Ozempic.
Ozempic.
So they call it these names, but the molecule is called semaglutide.
I think you have to sing it if it's Ozempic. I think you have to Ozempic. Just let you know.
So I'm trying to make a point here.
My bad.
The product that's out from Lilly is called Mounjaro, Manjaro.
Manjaro.
Jouro, Mounjaro, or something like that. Okay. So I wanted to let you know something, okay? Semaglutide, Dutch went on that a year and 3 months ago, whatever, a year and 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And lost over 100 pounds. And so Dutch feels fantastic. And, you know, it's just, he wasn't hungry, and it really, really worked very, very well for him with
unless he's staying at the mansion because he's never hungry. So
right.
There's no food.
That's funny because, you know, hippie chick takes care of making sure that we got all the food and everything here for the place all the time. And she comes to me like 2 months ago and she said, well, there's been some fantastic savings here at the mansion because you don't eat shit no more.
Oh my God.
So it's pretty funny. Also, by the way, so let me talk to you about which one's better, because I switched to Mounjaro about a month or two ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Because they told me that if you kind of plateau on semaglutide, the NVO product, it works to flip over to the Lilly product, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you something about the Lilly product.
Yeah.
I'm hungry as shit all the time.
Okay.
That thing doesn't work worth a crap. And hippie chick was trying it, and she goes, I'm quitting this goddamn stuff because I'm hungry as hell all the goddamn time. And I said, I know, honey. So anyway, we are, she doesn't actually talk, you know, she doesn't use swear words like that all the time.
No, she does not. She does not.
No,
but the accent.
I like to use the accent and throw
the accent is uncanny. I can't tell the difference when you do. I do a
pretty good job.
It's gotten quite good. I'll be honest.
I must tell you that, you know, when some people meet her for the first time and they ask her a question, they usually walk away very confused. They don't know anything she said.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Mark, you can reach right out to our support team. We'd love to have you out in Las Vegas. You can, I believe it's heck, you can.
Well, go to carnivoreacademy.org.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I'll throw a little
carnivoreacademy.org and sign up and come on out here, baby.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you, Mark. It'd be a lot of fun. We have a great time. I tell you what, not trying to get too far off, but we have a really good time. We've had some amazing people come through, some that we do consider true friends. Actually, all of them we consider friends, but we've made some great relationships. I know it's been really nice. And I tell you what, getting into that VIP group, they help me just as much as probably anyone else does. People like Powell.
God knows you need help.
I do need a lot of help. I tell you what, man, I need a lot. And, you know, once Z runs out of Twitter characters and Twitter tells him to take a break, he then goes over and gives his awesome knowledge just to us over there. So that helps. So,
hey, so here's what else is going on. Maybe I can share the pictures too, right?
Yeah.
All right. So hold on a second. Let me see if I can do this.
Yeah.
We've got the Bourget.
I've got your stock screen back up if you want to just use whatever one that is.
Oh, by the way, you've got 54, 33, or 23 on Destiny. So
so I've made a lot of money on this ball.
Okay, whiners, we're going ballistic now.
Oh my God, look at this. This has been the greatest lunch ever.
Oh,
I'm eating steak.
I bought it at 56 and I'm crying.
I,
Come on.
I'm happy. Oh, and thanks to Z this morning about Google, or yesterday about Google. He
55,
loved it.
56. Go, 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 baby. So,
Go! Come on.
all right.
Go,
So,
Buttercup, go.
hold on. I was going to no, take that down because I got to
Oh.
find this picture first.
Oh, yeah. We don't want to see what else you have there. Got it.
No.
You let me know when you're ready.
Stop sharing. I'm
Let
going
me
to
see if
find the
I
picture.
can. That's all right. It's already off. So you can keep that on. I'm going to see if we got any good questions we can.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Let's see. 8 miles off, 6 deep. You have a triple dose of. Oh, let's see. David says he's got thrown out of the Ivy in Santa Monica.
Excellent. Excellent.
Never return, he says. So,
Excellent. David.
And then,
David, I picked up a stalker there once. I met her at the bar and I started talking with her. And next thing I know, she's showing up at my house and the grocery store and the dry cleaner. I'm like, wait a minute. It's starting to get a little weird.
Dutch, apparently Dutch turns 87 on Saturday. Doesn't look a day over 85. So
what can I tell you?
What can you say? What can you say? You know, friends like this, you need no enemies. So that's great.
Here we go.
He said, it's me, Randy. You know, Randy always has a different name.
I know who he was.
I'm not sure what Randy's name is, actually. You know, I think I tried to, when I got him in the group, I'm not even sure if it's what he's supposed to be. It's all right. We love you, man.
All right. So this is what's coming next week. You see it?
Oh, yeah. We see it. Yeah. It's a big old booty chopper.
Hell yeah.
Sure love to buy a tire on that thing.
Yeah, that's they call those 300s.
Yeah.
And I want to know what it costs.
There's definitely a comma in there. I'm going to let you know that.
There's a comma.
I'm going to let you know that, my brother.
All right, so Johnny Rich was going to give me his dad's Bentley, right?
Uh-huh.
And I go, Johnny Rich, I want that Bentley. And he goes, I don't think you want this car, Dutch. I said, come on, Johnny, I love that car. You know how much I love that car. And he says, no, Dutch. You make some calls, Dutch. Figure it out. And I said, okay. So I made a couple of calls. First call I made was to my insurance guy. And I said, how much is it going to cost to insure this Bentley? And he goes, $10,000 every 6 months. Ow!
Yeah, it's true.
Ow! Then I stopped by a dealership and I said, just out of curiosity, if I need to replace all 4 tires and get 4 brakes done, how much would that run me? And the guy doesn't even blink. He's like, I don't know, like 30, 40, 50 grand.
Yeah. Now, in a previous life, I had a 7 Series BMW, and I had to get rid of it for air filters and brakes. You know, it was 5 figures, I think,
right?
Nonsense. And I said, you know what? I lived up here in Tennessee. Nobody really appreciated it here anyways. So that's when I switched, you know, everyone's like, I don't know what the hell this car's doing here. You know, so that's when we switched over to Truckland. But man, it's ridiculous. It's crazy.
So I want to see if
we got about maybe about 6-7 minutes left. Get wrapped up here. I know Dutch has got to do some stuff out there on the wrap.
You know what?
What?
Randy is DB Cooper. I think so. It's possible.
It very well could be. But either way, so it's good that bike is going to come out there. I know when I had my bike shipped out there, you made me feel a little bad for paying $1,200, and you're like, that should have been $600, and I was like, dang it, I can't believe I got screwed. And then you had to pay to ship that bad boy out.
I was going to try to find. I'm going to show you what the chopper what the black chopper is going to look like when we're done painting it.
Yeah.
All right. So here, I'm going to share screen.
All right.
All right.
That's not going to take long.
You guys are going to like this. Okay. So you ready? So that's what now. That's nighttime. Okay. Now you got to check this out. This is the Viking chopper. Look at that tank.
Yeah, it's got Viking stuff on it. Look at that right there.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like they made that for Dutch, right?
They probably did.
Well, so that's why that's going to be. So I decided rather than buy that thing from that dude,
Yeah.
I'm just going to take my existing chopper that's just like it and have my guy paint it just to look like that and throw an LED light package on it, save a bunch of money.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's probably the best way because you do have a couple of bikes there in the mansion, and we're gonna have to install ramps to get room to get them to other places in the house. So
What?
yeah, you're gonna run out of room there.
Well, I moved some bikes around last night, so now we've got my black Springfield and your white Springfield back behind the couches in the round room.
Okay, yeah.
And then we've got 4 bikes over in the motorcycle room, and we're going to have the Burgette's going to come into the lobby of the mansion, and then we've got one more coming in May, which is it's a Thunder Mountain,
Yeah.
Harley chopper, and it's kind of like candy apple red, beautiful. Now, we may want to do some custom paint work on it or something, or do some transfers. I saw this guy, how he takes you can do one of those sexy Dia de los Muertos babes, and you can do a transfer onto the sides of the tanks or the fender or whatever. We may do some of that because with that red, it'll look good with the black of the Dias de los Muertos. Too. By the way, I played roulette last night with 2 fantastic people, husband and wife from Mexico City, very classy people, and they were talking about how their grandmother makes these moles, and moles were originally made not to go with chicken or steak. They were made to go with turkey. I didn't know that. But anyway, what else?
Yeah. So let's do one. Let's do one more stock thing. It's kind of interesting. One more here. It was AEYE. So this is from Equinix Soundness Professionals. What are your thoughts on AEYE?
Well, it's spiking, but it's a $158 million market cap. So we really can't spend a lot of time talking about it. It's just not, it's spiking like a maniac right now. I don't know what they do. It looks like they're in the software business.
Yeah. So but it's a great call, getting a bunch.
But let's look at a lot of people are still playing with GCT though, right?
Yeah, I'm almost all the way out of it. I'm real disappointed that I am, but man.
Let's take a look here. Let's find my last comments on it.
Yeah.
All right, so hang on here. Let's do a quick share screen, and we'll do this. We'll do this, and we'll do this. Okay, so here it is. Here's the last comments we've got on it. We triggered it at 28, stocks at 34, and it looks like, look, we got, this thing is moving nicely, okay? This is really, hold on a second here. I'm gonna make some moves on this right now.
I'm gonna.
So here we go. Let's do some chart annotation, okay? So we got this move going on now. By the way, that's red turning to blue, which if you watch what we're doing, when something's red, it means it's not positive. When it turns blue, it means it's looking a little better. That is still definitely a problem right here. This is the accumulation line. So stock being accumulated or being distributed, i.e. sold, that is that's a negative. It's going that way.
Okay.
Now we've got a crossover on the MACD here, which occurred right there.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's going the right direction now. And I still think that this is now looking better. I think we can pretty much say that we've got this going on. That's nice. We have found support at this 50-day moving average line. And I think really what you're looking at, guys, is if you want to look at some kind of a pattern here, you're going to look at this pattern here.
Yeah.
So we're now into a more extended ascending triangle type of pattern, narrowing of this channel maybe. But where you want to make sure that it doesn't, you just don't want it to violate this line.
Sure. But it is starting to get a little bit more righteous, though. I mean, it's not.
And then on a real
bag us.
Yeah, and on a real short-term basis, what you're looking at is this.
Yeah.
Okay, you got,
because this thing hurt me far more than DXYZ ever could have. So
on a short-term basis, you're really looking at a triangle here. So it's getting really close, by the way, to some kind of explosive move potentially, which I think could be something that looks kind of like this. Right like that.
Okay, yeah.
So it could blast like right through this box, head us up into the 50s. Now remember, Trader Z gave it to us. I'm gonna mark where he gave it to us, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna show you exactly where he gave it to us. Like right there. That's January 1 time frame right there. I think that's when he first triggered it for us, was right around then. It was $19. That's where he first gave it to us.
And for y'all that don't realize, this is the research that Dutch and Z and Donk, this is the research that they do on these stocks. And definitely, if you're watching us, you're just trying to figure out who these guys are, it is definitely worth giving us a try, checking us out, going ahead, go to carnivoretrading.com, give us a look, go ahead and like the video, please. One thing I do want to say, Donk and I, we are going to be working on some chefing videos. He is an amazing chef. My wife and my son were on a cruise, and they were sending me photos of their food on the cruise, and I was sending mine back to them. And I was like,
from the mansion.
That from the mansion, absolutely.
Yeah, because Donk was here cooking. Yeah,
but that was cool. But check these out. He even made me my own special child version of.
Hey, I got a question, Godfather.
Yeah.
I probably should have asked you before we went on, but I guess are we streaming on like YouTube and a lot of other places?
Yeah, Pornhub and
hey.
Yeah, brother, we're on.
No, I got a question because I know that certain people, certain platforms don't like anything having to do with firearms.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is definitely yeah. But
how about How about
because we're coded as education on this stream. So if
yeah.
we did bring in a live feed, we would probably not want to do that. If we coded a stream as people and blogs, we could get away with it. But we're
People and
coded on
blog.
this. Yeah.
Well,
Just,
what if I'm educating people on the various size of bull
yeah.
its?
Yeah. Yeah. If you're just showing bullets, I think it's fine. But I mean, with if you had a couple,
Well, there's something coming to the mansion that I wanted to show you guys. Okay, it is it's not the Eiffel Tower. It is an Eiffel with an R in front of it.
right?
Okay,
Yeah.
and I just want to show you that this is a 9mm.
Right.
This is a 45.
Very educational.
Okay. This is an AR-15 round. So basically a 223 round.
Or 5.56.
And then this is a AK-47.
That's a 7.62.
Okay. And this is the one coming to the mansion.
And that he's
4570.
Yeah. That should do it, just about do it right there.
Can you believe that thing?
I really actually
I mean, that's like a lot of gunpowder in there.
Yeah, I don't actually know what something like that costs.
That's like $250 a round.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Isn't that stupid?
Oh my goodness. So
anyway, I've heard that you can't get AK-47 rounds are actually scarce right now and expensive because we're sending them all over to Ukraine.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Hallelujah. I can't wait for that damn stupid ass thing to end.
Yeah, that would help. In fact, probably as we get a little bit closer, we probably should help you purge a little bit and do a couple of commentaries on the elections and things like that. That way, stuff you're trying to leave out of the wrap. We could give a little bit of a little purge on that. I'm sure some people want to know, but that yeah.
I think that I mean, look. You're a street guy. I'm a street guy. You're a street guy, Miami. I'm a street guy from Oakland, California. Okay, opposite ends of the country, but
right.
We learned how to grow up on the street with street rules, and I'm telling you, man, a lot of people, a lot of kids these days don't know street rules. They don't know what it means, how to operate on the street. They're totally unaware. Guys like you and I learned that when we're walking down a street at night and we see a bunch of guys under a street lamp down on the right-hand side, kind of gathered out in front of a liquor store, it might be a good idea for us to cross the street and avoid those dudes. And I noticed that kids today, they're like totally clueless, man. They're just like on their iPhone. They walk right into the freaking huddle of these guys. It's like, what are you doing?
What I don't understand, and to anyone that's gone through a tragedy, you never want it to happen to you. But what I don't understand is all the people that say they don't believe that it could happen to them. That I don't get. I was like, well, everyone said that, and I would always, and every time that I'd go as a cop in Knoxville, they'd always have alarms that were never turned on, or they're like, oh, I'm gonna arm my alarm from now on. And it's just like, why does it take the event to get you to do something? You had your alarm right here, and I got to. It's like, does this work? And they're like, front door open. I was like, it works. What happened? Is like, oh, it's too much trouble. The dog sets it off, and it's just like,
Well, you got to fix that, right? So
yeah.
I it's kind of like, if you come home late to the mansion here, right, at night, and it's a big place, and we try to have it lit up as it can be, but there's still 298 palm trees for knuckleheads to hide behind, right? If you've got your concealed carry license, why are you pulling in and without carrying? Yeah. I mean, if I'm a numbskull and I can think halfway clearly, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to go, hey, that guy was probably out at a casino. I bet he has some cash on him. He's going to come home. I'm going to wait here behind the palm tree. And when he gets out of his truck, I'm going to jump him and say, give me your money. Well, I mean, if I can think of that, a knucklehead can think of that. And so why would I come in here? I mean, when I get out of that truck, I don't have it in my holster, man.
Yeah.
It's in my hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because between the truck to the house, I don't want some knucklehead jumping me, but you know.
No, absolutely. You know, I always
So,
tell, I
you know,
don't
you just got to use your head out there, and I think part of you avoid a lot of trouble out there if you respect people.
That's right. Absolutely.
And, I mean, when you walk down the street in any major city, okay, you got some badass dudes, and they don't have a whole hell of a lot to live for. Okay, nothing to lose kind of guys. Those are the most dangerous.
Yeah.
Treat them with respect.
Yeah.
Treat them right. Be nice.
You know, one of the things that we always told people, especially coming from you know, where I didn't, like I said, we lived in a nice area. It was me that chose to be where I put myself in Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and that was me, and that was just where my gravity always went. It's always just in my soul that I was that person, you know. So but one thing that was interesting, the people that were actually the most concerning. Let's use MC for an example. Nothing against the people that are full patches and everything. They got tabs. I don't worry about those guys. It's the ones that say prospect. It's the people, the hangarounds. They teach in Copland. The hangarounds of the gangs are the ones that are the most dangerous because they're the ones that have something to prove. And they're the ones that are going out there and they're going to try to make an example to show somebody else and get street cred for themselves.
I got to tell you, quick story.
Get worried.
I'm at this biker bar and there's a particular crew there with patches and everything. And unbeknownst to me, I was in line I got in line to get a beer, and I didn't know that I had cut this girl off. And there's a tap on my shoulder, and it's this guy with the colors on, and he says, "Hey, man, you cut in front of my girlfriend." And I said, "I did? Man, I'm sorry. I'm gonna buy her whatever she wants. I'm gonna buy you a beer. I apologize.
Absolutely.
You guys show me where you're sitting. I'll bring them over to you." You know what? That guy was like my best friend that day because I showed him respect.
Even being part of a cop club, we go in and we see people that are on the other side, and you know we don't stay in those we leave, but we'll buy them a drink on our way out the door. That way, you know, hey guys, this is not where we belong, but here's this is from us. We appreciate it. We're out. You know, just
it's kind of like it doesn't buy you anything but peace for that day.
And you know what? That's all we're living.
That's all we want to do is get through that day. Anyway, enough of that. Hey, listen.
Anyways, yes.
We love you guys.
I'm
glad we were able to maybe answer a few questions, and then sorry for pontificating too long. Don't forget Texas pecan maple bars
pecan's what truckers use on long
drives.
From
Thunderbird. It's good stuff. It's made in America. Down in, where is it? It said something like it's made in Wella, Austin, Texas. Thunderbird at wellafoods.com.
Keep Austin weird. Thank you, guys.
Thunderbirdbar.com.
We do have a couple more spots left open in the academy. I'll be getting up there. Dutch and I, we're going to be shooting some videos.
We've got some spots available for sponsors because, you know,
we do.
Louis Vuitton got very upset and said, we're not sponsoring you, so just stop saying that.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one. Dutch, we'll see you in the wrap, my friend.
All right, brother.
All right, brother. Thank you.
All right.